Luke, we're coming out of a pandemic.
Sure are.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Unofficially. We'll just taper out of one.
Yeah.
We've just come out of 2 years of being smack dab in one.
Right.
One of the things that I think a lot of people took the last 2 years to kind of evaluate is health and wellness.
Yeah.
And how they look at it, or maybe realize that they didn't look at it in the past.
Yeah.
Myself included, the mental toll that some of that takes.
Sure.
You know, stresses of being alive in 2022.
Right.
Being a dad, being a father of a now 18-year-old.
Right.
Very stressful.
Sure.
As being a husband, working from home, and just not having the ability to go places that you normally would. So,
right.
One of the things that a lot of people I saw common is fitness. Can't go to the gym.
Yeah. So what do you do?
So, and this also, if you were forced to work from home,
Yeah.
and now you have space that's like, how do I work with what I have?
Right.
There's a lot of things. So, one thing that really kind of took off in the last couple of years is treadmills.
Yeah.
And walking treadmills or full scale treadmills.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you a little bit about one in particular.
Okay.
And kind of how I feel about it.
Okay.
Review wise, the Mobvoi Home Treadmill.
Yeah.
Before I do that, if you're watching for the first time,
yeah,
and you like us, you got this far, thank you.
Yes.
If you could give us a like, a share,
Yep.
Tell a friend, subscribe to us if you want to see more stuff. We talk about all kinds of tech stuff, phone related, not phone related, apps, games, really pretty wide umbrella.
Yep.
So if you want to see some of that stuff, let us know.
Yeah.
So this is the Mobvoi Home Treadmill. I didn't even realize Mobvoi was in this space.
Yeah.
But they have been for a while.
Really?
I have seen some reviews that this thing is, a year old at least. So I had a chance to check one out.
Okay.
This guy runs about $380 right now.
Okay.
Where it normally might come in at about $450.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on sale currently as we record this. That is I want to say like a fraction of a price of what some treadmills can run.
Yeah.
You can get into thousands of dollars
Sure.
for one of those. So I haven't spent too much time with high-end treadmills.
Right.
Use them at different gyms, hotels, things like that.
Sure.
Commercial grade. This is more consumer grade.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a no frills kind of thing.
Okay.
So by that, it's doesn't do a ton of things, but it does what it does well.
Okay.
So this guy weighs about 75 pounds.
Okay.
Get it home. It's all in the box. You basically take it out of the box and you're halfway to setting it up.
Okay.
You will lift the arms up on the side and screw in some arms like into the side of that. And then there's a phone mount.
Yeah.
So if you have a phone, you want to, start an app to track, or if you're listening to music or some podcast or something, you can mount that in there, kind of clamped. And you can actually pair it Bluetooth to your treadmill.
Oh, cool.
But back to the setup, it takes all of 10 minutes to get going.
Right.
It was something that I was able to do pretty much single-handedly. Screw a couple things in with the Allen wrench that comes with it, plug it in, and start playing with it.
Nice.
The cord is a little short.
Okay.
So I've used it as a walking treadmill and as a treadmill. And I like that you can operate this with the arms down and just kind of walk.
Yeah.
If it's under a desk like we have here, we're standing at, that's nice. Plug it in and just do that. However, when I would move it out to get a little bit more faster on it, I couldn't reach the same outlet. So I had to plug in an extension cord.
I gotcha.
So that's just something to kind of keep in consideration as to when you put it somewhere, if it's permanent or going to be moving. It does move rather easily. And you can stand it up, put it against the wall if you need to, tuck it away. It's not very thick, low profile. It's got two screens.
Yeah.
One screen being on the foot. As you're walking, if you look down, you'll see that, and it will show you basically the speed that you're going. And then there's the screen across the top that shows you 1 through 12, these like circles with the numbers in them. And then you've got your speed up and down over here. You cannot jump from, say, if you're going 3 miles per hour or kilometers, actually is how it's tracking that. You can't jump from there and just say 6 and then get going. You have to kind of dial that up.
Okay.
So that's something to consider, where sometimes on other treadmills, you can just say, put me at 5.
Yeah.
And now I'm going faster.
Yeah. It's time for a sprint burst or something. Sure.
Now there's a remote that you can do. So if you want to run with that or have that, you can put it on it. It has the clip that you'll find where the emergency magnet.
Sure.
So you clip it to your shirt.
Yep.
So if you are getting going, you can get up to 12 kilometers an hour on this thing.
Okay.
So that comes out to just about 7.5 miles per hour.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So if you're looking for something to kind of just get going in the house, kind of, I need to move more. I can't spend thousands of dollars on something. This is a perfect kind of treadmill option for that.
Sure.
Other than that, it's not something where you can like store a run in. There's not a mode where you can say, I want to increase the incline.
Sure.
It's, being a no frills, that's where it says, hey, this is what it does.
Yeah.
But from my experience with it over the last couple of weeks, it does those things well.
Sure.
Let me think here. What else to say? Do you have any questions about it?
So you said it's real easy to set up. As far as storing it, you can store it upright if you want to.
Yeah.
But you could, maybe slide it like under the couch or something like that. Is it small enough? Do those arms just, do you have to take anything apart if you want to store it?
So I take the arms off because they will screw kind of into that. They don't kind of swivel.
Okay. So once the arms are up, if you want to put those arms down, you have to essentially just
and it's
take it apart.
It's like 4 little Allen wrench, screws.
Okay.
But for me, I've got it now to where it's just basically being used as a walking treadmill at home. It's down and basically just walk.
Yeah, just no arms. It's just the treadmill. Okay.
It doesn't feel like it has any wobble.
Yeah.
Where I've seen that with like less expensive treadmills.
Are there any like adjustment feet or anything for like leveling it out, or not really?
There are, and the belt, I think there's something you could do if you feel it getting slack, but I haven't run into that yet.
Okay.
There are a couple of things you can kind of do to troubleshoot it.
Right.
It is quiet.
Yeah.
It's one that, you get on and kind of walk, or if you're jogging on it or whatever, it's pretty quiet. I don't want to call it a starter treadmill. I feel like it's above that. I've seen.
Right. So how about like lengthwise, if you are running, if you're going full speed on it, do you feel like it's long enough to keep that gait? No problem.
Yeah. And that's something that if you do clip the thing to your shirt, you do have a pretty decent amount of cord to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel like you have to be up close or everything is like top heavy on it. It does have a decent, I think I might even have the specs on their website.
You got enough space to kind of go the speed you want to go without feeling like you have to change your gait or anything.
Yeah, it is, according to their website, folding size, product size. I don't know if it has the belt here. So it's 49 inches for the product size. The walking and running area is 40 inches.
Okay.
So there's a few inches here and there on both sides.
Okay.
But yeah, you're looking at 3.5 feet. Excuse me. Bumping mics here. It's a pad.
Yeah.
But it feels like I don't ever feel like I'm at risk of coming off the back of it.
Yeah. Does it feel pretty solid when you are running on it? Does it feel like it has any give or anything like that?
No, it works really well. I've been on and even owned less expensive treadmills when you get on it and you're just kind of like man, this thing sounds like it's going to break. This thing sounds like it's cheaply built. Something's hollow in here somewhere.
Right.
That's not the case here.
Okay.
The belt works well. I've done walks in bare feet, socks. We generally take the shoes off in our house, but I've got different shoes that we'll wear indoor.
Sure.
So that, for something like this, that aren't dirty, but yeah, the belt itself feels good. It doesn't feel like you're running on something cheaply built. And it'll support up to 265-pound people. Yeah. So pretty much the average, up to an average adult male.
No problem.
Should be no problems for that.
You said it has a remote control. Is there like any app with it that you can control it from an app? Or
not in this one.
Okay.
So this is basically just the remote control.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I've been checking out another walking pad that has an app. For me, using it more as the walking pad, I don't care. I just get on and find a pace that I can work at where I don't feel like, I'm having trouble concentrating while I write, or getting too fast and I can't type.
Sure.
So it's a good pad for that, or a good walking treadmill for that.
Okay.
But again, if you want to open it up and get into 5, 6, 7 miles an hour, you're not going to get into high-end marathon training or anything like that. But for somebody who's like, hey man, I just need to move more. This is a nice thing that you can kind of pull out from under the couch, or if it's in place, just get on there and you can walk 4 or 5 miles in a work day without breaking a sweat. That's kind of passive cardio, passive movement, calories being burned.
Especially from, like you said at the beginning of this, a lot of people are working at home, or their jobs have transitioned to home. And when you're home working, and then when you're done working you're still at home, it's really hard to be moving.
And that and that kind of goes back to the whole topic at the top was even stress, managing stress, getting those calories out, getting that movement. Those little things can go a long way to making you feel better.
Sure.
If you are able to say, I walked 6 miles today without even thinking about it, that's good. And then you can get out there and say, hey, I'm going to try to do more. Or if I'm going to go out and actually try to walk, set goals outside to get a couple miles in, if you can do that while you're not even thinking about it.
Sure.
Or start to step it up and say, hey, I'm just going to get on here and, do a nice pace for an hour. It's going to work well for that.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, that's Mobvoi, and that's their home treadmill.
Sweet. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.